Alright friends, welcome! Today we are going to work on our Hardy Clay Lollipop and Shave Ice. So this is the kit we're using, our air dry clay. You have your instructional sheet. Keep that. And let's unpack your bag. We have our bottle of tacky glue. We have 2 colors of Hardy Clay. We were so excited to give this to you this time. You will have a package of white and a package of another color. We were able to get lots of different colors to people, so whatever other color you have. Inside, now be careful, these are small pieces. You're gonna have a mini popsicle stick. You are going to have 1 full-length lollipop stick. You are going to have, it's in here somewhere, you're going to have a smaller lollipop stick. It's cut, so just a shorter length. This is called a jump ring. It is just a metal ring that we are going to use to turn your lollipop into a charm. It is smaller, so don't lose it. And of course, some glitter. We're going to make that shave ice glitter like ice in the summertime sun. Now, everything that you got did come in this plastic bag. You will need this. We are going to be using it today to keep your clay from drying out. So just keep it nearby. Now, the first thing we're going to do is open up our packages. You're going to open up one package of white to begin with. Oh, there's my little popsicle stick. So let's start with that. I have clay that I'm going to work with. So I'm going to put that on the side, and I'm going to get my handy dandy white clay out. So the first thing I'm going to do is, with your whole package, a lot of times when we work with it, we just want to take a little bit out and put the rest in or under our plastic bag or a piece of plastic. Keeping your clay nice and covered is going to keep it from drying out. Now this is going to be a little bit different. We are used to using 1/3 of our Hardy Clay, so go ahead and do that. Just split it apart. We're going to take out 1/3 of your block. The rest of your clay is going on here. But with this 1/3, we're actually going to break that in half. So it's just about that size. Kind of going to fit in the palm of your hand. So everything else, close it up, stick it in your plastic bag. You just want it to stay nice and workable, nice and moist. We are going to do the same thing with your other color. I have green that I'm going to work with today. So you're going to open that up. You're going to take out 1/3 of your clay. This is about the size of a whole brick. So I'm just going to take off 1/3 of it. And all I'm going to do is just grab it, rip it right off. And then that, again, I'm just going to break that in half. The piece we're working on right now, I don't think I told you, we're going to make the lollipop. So you can see, we have a lot of clay. You're going to end up with extra clay. We're mixing our 2 colors in a roll here to get that candy effect. So all the rest of our clay, right? Close it up tight, just tuck it away in your plastic bag. Keep that on the side. All right. Now remember I don't want to get anything dried out. I'm gonna work with my white clay first. So I'm actually gonna take the green clay that I picked, and that's what I mean. I'm just gonna tuck it underneath my plastic bag. That is gonna keep it workable while I work with this. First thing I'm gonna do, just gonna start working it. Rolling it between my hands. A lot of you know how to do this. I'm just going to keep doing this. As I roll my hands together, it's getting longer. So I'm just making a snake. I'm making a nice long snake. One of my favorite things about clay is how it just changes shape so quickly when I start rolling. So you can see if I keep doing this, it's kind of wiggling like a dog's tail down here. And I want to keep control of it. So I'm going to use I'm just using the back side of a cutting board right now. Just a flat piece, and I'm going to use 2 of my hands now, and I'm just rolling over my clay like this, but I'm moving my hands. side to side, because you can see it's starting to get thin here, a little bit wide here, so I want to thin this out. So I'm just making a long snake. I don't want to make it too thin. I also don't want it to be too thick. So I can roll with one hand. All right, I have rolled out my white snake. So with my white color of hardy clay, so I'm going to go into my bag. And remember, I am using those pieces that we broke off yesterday. I'm closing up my plastic bag to make sure my clay doesn't dry out. I'm just going to put this to the side. Hello. And then I'm going to do the same thing with my other color of clay, right? So I'm using green today. Everyone got different colors. So this is one of those really wonderful, projects where, oopsie, I got a little mixed in there, but I'm just going to fold it in. Where when you send us pictures of what you made, and you get to see the pictures of what other people made, you can also see I am making my green snake. My white snake is on the side. Always remember, right, we have our other clay in our plastic bags, and since this one is out, you can use water every so often if you want to touch that on. You can get a wet paper towel to keep it covered so it doesn't get dry. I'm making my green snake because I want my lollipop to have a nice 2-color swirl. We were very, very focused on seeing if we could make sure you folks could play with 2 different colors of clay this time. And we did it. So here's my snake. Doesn't have to be any certain measurement. We just want to make it as long as and about as thick as our first snake. So you can see, because I covered this with a wet paper towel, it's nice and moist still. Here are my 2 snakes. Didn't even measure them. Look, they came out the same. So now I'm going to put them next to each other, and all I want to do is I'm just going to wind them around each other. So I just usually start off by crossing them in the middle, just so I can see how much I'm going to wind. And this is also, I give it a light press to have it stick together, and then if you want to leave it on the table, you can. If you can pick it up, all I'm doing is twisting it. In fact, you can just turn it. Ooh, isn't that pretty? Already it's looking like fun. You'll see in the instructional, I say that if you're kind of looking to see what that might look like, you want to think about maybe a candy cane. You see those stripes together. And so now that I have it twisted, I'm going to roll this into its own snake. You know, keeping it twisted. It's okay if I see a little bit of, it's not really cracking, but the clay is starting to come apart. When I start rolling it, you see the colors are smoothing out. I'm just really rolling it to press the 2 snakes together. I can even move my hands like this, and it actually helps it twist it even more. And then I'm just going to keep rolling it. I kind of want it to be about the same thickness as the snakes when I started. Boy, look at how long that's getting. Okay, so I'm just going up and down the snake, really rolling those colors together. If you do start to see that you think it's getting dry, you can always dip your hand in a little water, tap it on, and just roll that water in. It'll help to keep your clay nice and soft. Wow, that is long. Now here's the fun part. We are not going to use this whole snake to make our lollipop, only because it would be giant. If you want to make it giant, that is your choice. But I want to make it a charm. I want to be able to hang it on maybe a bag or my backpack. So I'm going to pick an end to start rolling my circle shape. I want to do it from this end, I think, because I have more stripes here. So I'm going to try to make sure that it's all even. And then I'm going to start here. I'm going to roll it this way. If you've ever made a snail in an art class, you might recognize this as a way to make a snail shell. I'm going to pick up this end, and I'm showing it to you sideways. I'm just going to roll that in, tuck that in, and I'm just going to start rolling it onto itself. Might dip my finger in a little bit of water, smooth that out. So you see how it's going to roll? So I could roll it flat like this. I like to hold it up and down, so I'm putting it on its bottom, and I'm just going to roll it. Now you can stop anytime you want to. If you want to make a nice tiny lollipop, you go ahead and stop. I'm going to make mine a little bit bigger. Maybe I'll make it even bigger than my last one. Ooh. Oh, there. Okay, that's a nice size. So yeah, you can see I have all of this clay. No worries, we're going to use it. I am going to gently pull on my clay. What do I do if I want to keep my clay nice and soft? I'm going to take my wet paper towel. I'm just actually going to wrap that up, and I'm going to tuck it under my plastic bag. I am going to work with that. So now I'm going to take that lollipop shape. I'm just going to smooth it out. Again, this is a time when you can get your fingers wet. Just smooth it down. And I'm making it into a circle. There's my lollipop shape. I'm just going to press down on it. I'm not smashing it. I'm just tapping it lightly on either side. Flatten it out. Ooh, I like how that looks. Also to make sure that all the clay is stuck together. Smoothing that end again. All right, I'm ready to put my lollipop stick in it. So you have your long lollipop stick in your kit. I like to put the lollipop stick in the bottom right where I joined that clay. So now this, it's not a very thick piece of clay, but I want to try to stick my lollipop stick right in the middle of that. The way that I do that is I look to see, right? Kind of make a mark so I know where I'm going to push it in. And then I'm going to hold it flat and really very slowly and gently, I'm just turning it a little bit with my hand and pushing it in. I'm going to stop because I want to make sure I'm not pushing the stick out through the clay. I want it to be right in the middle. I'm going to give that a nice push. Check it again. Yep, didn't come out. Yay, and I got it in. So I'm just going to, if I feel the stick kind of bumping out, I'm just going to try to flatten it out, and you can see it's right in the middle. The next thing I'm going to do is turn it into a charm. That means I'm going to get my jump ring. That is that gold circle you have. A jump ring can open and close if you're using it with jewelry. Today, we're not worried about that. If you can see with your eye where that little cut opening is, that's the side you want to stick into your charm, but don't worry about it. It will still work no matter which way you stick it in. So I'm going to take my charm. If I want my lollipop to hang from my backpack up and down, I'm going to put my jump ring right where the stick is. But you know what? I want to be a little sassy. I'm going to put it off to the side so that when my lollipop hangs, it's going to hang a little diagonal. So all I'm going to do is take my jump ring, same thing. I'm going to look right in the middle of this side, and I'm just going to push it in halfway. Halfway meaning I can see a little half circle right there. See that? Right there. Right there.
Hold on. One more time, Malia. Sorry, I had
For
to
the jump ring?
refocus. Let's just show it. No,
Okay.
where it is.
All right,
Go ahead.
right there it is. So you can see it's just pushed halfway in. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to take either that other piece of lollipop stick or even my little stick that I'm going to use for my shave ice. I just want to press underneath that ring so that any opening I made is nice and closed up. When it dries, that ring will be stuck in my charm and it will never fall out. And there you go. You shouldn't be able to see the ring that's in the clay, right? I stuck my little stick underneath my ring and I'm patting that closed. And there you have it. Tasty charm. You can just tie a little string to that or a cord or even a little keychain or something with a clip on it and let that hang nice and sweet and free. I'm going to put this on the side and let it dry. It's a perfect time to let it dry. Give it a nice pat. And now let's start on our shave ice. Now we have all that clay that is sitting and resting in a wet paper towel in our plastic bags. I'm going to actually open up. Look, my leftover snake of clay, and then I'm going to go into my bags, and you get to remember the pieces that you took apart. We broke up that 1/3, right? We were talking about how we're breaking these blocks up into 1/3 when we work in with it. We split off that 1/3, the 1/3 of clay right here. We split that in half to make our snake. So now I'm going to get that other piece of clay. So for you, it's probably going to look kind of like I'm adding a little bit of water to my hands. It's basically going to be the same size as the white and green pieces that you started your snake with. So you're just going to double check that you have them. Here's my white one. I'm putting that back in my plastic bag because I'm just making sure I have the right working amount. And then I'm getting out my green one. Same amount, about the same size. You can hear I'm tucking everything back into my plastic bag every time I get it out. I'm just going to feel it for a moment, make sure it's still soft and a little bit wet, and it is. So I'm going to put that piece back in here too. So the first thing I'm going to do now is take my snake. I had it in my wet paper towel so it's still nice and soft. I'm actually going to still wet my hands a little bit. So here's my snake. Now this is the fun part. I'm going to fold it over once. I'm going to fold it over again. I'm going to fold it one more time. And now I'm going to roll that into a snake. If you start to work with clay, whether it's air dry clay like our hardy clay, whether you start to work with polymer clay, some of you might know about, it's a lot of the stuff that you see that our charms are made out of polymer clay. I'm going to fold it again. I'm just going to keep folding it and making a snake. I'm mixing it right now because I want it to look stripy. But a lot of the ways that you'll see and maybe learn how to mix your clay, ooh, maybe I'll do that twisty thing. Ooh, look at that, that's fun. Is by making ropes or snakes and then folding them and then rolling them again. Ooh, I like how that looks. I'm actually gonna stop at that. Look at that. So you can see all I did was take that first snake, I was folding it and rolling it, and now I have this wonderful, marbled is a word that you would use, snake with all the colors. Now that I have this, I'm gonna roll that up into a really fat spiral just to keep right here, and I'm gonna grab my 2 pieces of white clay and green clay. And look, I'm still always folding my bag up and keeping the rest of it nice and sealed and moist. And now I'm going to take this and this, I'm going to mix them all together. So if you want to try making more snakes out of this, great. Because what we're really doing, I think you've already figured out, is we are making the shave ice part of our shave ice sculpture. We just want all of that nice swirly color in there. Because you can see if I took this, I'm going to wet my hands again, because that looks like a lot of clay, but if I mash that into a ball and start to make that into a shave ice ball, well, yeah, I mean, it's close, but you can see that it is still a little bit small. So what I want to do is I just want to take more clay, nothing fancy. I'm just going to break off a little bit and work that into a piece of marbled clay for my shave ice that's, oh, I'm going to say the size of a golf ball, if you've ever seen a golf ball. Certainly bigger than a ping pong ball. And I'm just going to mix that together. And it's really just everything we've done up to now. I'm twisting it. I'm rolling it into a ball. I might even start to make it into a snake, right? Do my rolling. And then roll that up again. And then I'm going to make that into a ball just to see how big it is. Ooh, that's starting to look good. I kind of want it to be more marbled though. Maybe pretend that I'm gonna have, I don't know what the flavors would be. Maybe I'll add a little more water or a little more white. Maybe this would be lime and vanilla, or
green apple.
Oh, that sounds so good. Miss Jenny said green apple. Ooh, green apple and vanilla. Ooh, look at that. That's starting to look like the earth almost. Okay, so I added that bit of clay. And now, like you'll read in your instructions that are written, but also in the way that we're doing now, I can compare it to one because I have this here, but really, this looks good to me. You know, it's a little bit bigger than a golf ball, about the size of a golf ball. This is extra. I'm not going to use it, so what do? I'm going to stick it right back in here because I have a lot of clay I'm still going to get to play with. So I'm going to fold that up, tuck it away, and finish my shave ice top. So what we want to do with this shape is, as much as this looks round like a golf ball, it's actually more of an oval shape. This is an oval shape with our shave ice. So I'm just going to make that oval. Just means it is heading towards looking more like an egg than it is looking like a globe. So you can see it's a little bit longer this way than it is this way. Nothing perfect. It's perfect the way it is. Not even measuring it, just shaping it a little. Ooh, I like that. So I'm going to put that on the side now. So that is the top of my shave ice ready to go. What am I grabbing? I need the rest of my white clay to make that paper cone. Now these days, when people go to get, what are called snow cones sometimes on the mainland, or here in Hawaii, of course, we always say shave ice. A lot of times the shave ice comes in a plastic bottom these days. When I was little, and in certain places where you get shave ice now, the shave ice was always put into a paper cone. And so that's the look that we're going for here. Ooh, you know what? I can feel right here, because my clay was open, probably longer than yours, I have a dry spot here. So if you ever feel like your clay is a little bit hard and it's not mixing up, it actually feels like it's just bouncing, just gently pull that part out. So the rest of this is more than enough for me to make a paper cone. Now a cone, you can see, has this triangle shape, except that it's three-dimensional, right? It's not a flat triangle. It's the shape of like an ice cream cone. So it has a small tip and a wider top. So that's what we're going to go for. An easy way to do that is just to make a barrel shape or a cylinder. It's kind of circle on the ends, nice and straight here, kind of like what you would do if you're going to make a snake. And then I'm just going to start pinching one end. So there's the point on my cone. And maybe flattening it, getting it wide, because what I want to do, right, is I want to make the top of this cone big enough to sit that yummy shave ice on top of it. So I'm still making that bottom pointy. I like to turn my clay as I work with it because that helps me to make it even all the way around, especially when I'm making a shape that's symmetrical, or what that means is it is the same on one side as on the other side is symmetrical. And then I'm just going to take my shave ice ball and like match it up. You know what? That's not bad, but I think I want it to be a little bit wider on the top, like my shave ice is sitting inside of it. So I'm going to keep on going, stretching it out with my fingers, kind of smashing it if I need to make it wider. If in your time working with clay you ever made a pinch pot, you just use your fingers to pinch the clay out or up, and that helps to change the shape. I'm using my fingers to also make a little, almost like a bowl in here, a little place for my shave ice to sit. Because when I put the two together, I can't just have it sit here. If we were working with dry clay, I could glue it. But since our clay is wet, what I want to do is actually smooth the two pieces together. Okay, this is looking good. So now, right, I'm pushing my fingers down in the middle, making that little bowl. And then I'm going to take my oval shape, put my tasty, tasty shave ice right in there. And the way that I have the two of them together is I'm actually going to start to push them a little bit, and I'm going to smooth out this edge and press it against my shave ice. So it looks like my shave ice is sitting in my cone. Ooh, maybe Hawaii style. What's inside my cone? When I get shave ice, I like to put ice cream in there. So I get a little bit of vanilla ice cream inside my cone, so my ice cream's hiding in there. You can see I'm turning my piece. I'm going to dip my finger in a little water. Get that a little smooth. So you can see it's stuck together. So really that's just about pushing on my cone. You know, if you want to get real strict or straight about it, you can take your popsicle stick that we're going to use for the spoon that sits in your shave ice, and you can do this to make the top of your cone look really sort of straight, like paper would look. Ooh, I like how that looks. I'm going to stop there. So I'm going to keep that like that. That's my shave ice sitting in my cone. And the next part now is for us to add a little wooden piece to make it look like we have a wooden spoon in there. And we're going to put a straw in it. Again, not everybody does that with their shave ice, but that's one of the ways that we make shave ice in Hawaii. We always have a spoon, so you can eat it with a spoon. You take some bites, and then there's a straw, so you can sip all of that nice melted juice underneath. Now, with your wooden stick that you might be used for molding, if you want to, you can just go ahead and stick that in to make your spoon. Something that I did, because if you want to use your stick, part of your stick later, is I just cut it off using a scissors. You can't cut through popsicle stick, but what you can do is take your scissors and kind of chomp at it.
I think I want to cut that part out. It sounds too dangerous.
Okay.
So 21,
Okay.
38, 21, yeah.
So we'll just stick the stick in then.
Yep.
Okay. It sounds dangerous. Danger. You can take your wooden popsicle stick now, and looking at it from the top, you can see putting that spoon handle in at an angle. You want to push it down into the middle of your shave ice, and it's going to hold itself there when it dries. So you can see I'm just making sure it's not sticking out anywhere else. Pushing that in like a wooden spoon. Now in your kit, you had your small piece of cut lollipop stick. If you want it, you can just go ahead and put that in, because some straws are white. I just thought for color, I colored this popsicle stick. So if you have a red pencil or a red marker, you can just color that. And you don't even have to color the whole stick, right? Because only part of it is going to be sticking up. So I might just color about half of it, just giving it a little color, even a light stripy color, because sometimes straws are striped with red and white. And so all I'm doing is giving it a little color just to contrast it with my shave ice. So it's just a little bit red, just so that it has a little bit of a different color to it. And then, just like my stick, I'm going to pick another side, another place where I can push that straw in and make it look like that's where I would sip my delicious melted juice from my shave ice. And now what we're going to do is the last step is to get this nice sparkle on so that it really looks like ice. Now in your kits, you have your glue, We are going to be using the brush from your project the other day. If you want to, I'm going to show you two different ways. The way that it is in your instructional sheet is, and this is just my little glue that I'm using, is it says just squeeze a little dollop of glue right onto your shave ice. You see that? All I did was put it on. And then you can, with your brush or with any sort of a stick or spreader that you have at home, and all you're going to do is spread glue all over your shave ice. So everywhere that the mixed white and green are. Now, this is one way to do it. All I'm doing is spreading that glue around with something flat. Something else you can do is, if you have your brush from the other day, you can take a little bit less glue, just squeeze it out onto a piece of cardboard, a paper plate. I dipped my brush into a little bit of water, and then all you're going to do is thin it out. We've done this before in some of our projects. Same thing. You're just using your brush to smooth that glue out and spread it all around your shave ice on the top, right? Dip it in a little water. I don't even need to add more glue. I can just grab some glue from on top of my shave ice and paint it around. Now you remember, this is going to dry clear, so I don't have to be perfect. I don't even have to cover the whole shave ice ball if I don't want to. I'm going to let my brush soak so that the glue doesn't get stuck. And now, in your instructional, it says you can get some paper towel. If you have a paper plate, you can do that too. I'm going to let my shave ice rest right there. And I'm going to get my pack of glitter that was inside my kit. So this is the little zip top bag, and it just has a really nice mix of glitter in it. All you're going to do is open that up, get someone to help you. I like to pinch it so there's only a small opening for the glitter to come out of. Just pinching it, because now what I'm going to do is, over my paper plate, over my paper towel, I'm going to sprinkle it all over my shave ice ball, just where all of the glue is, if it would come out. Here we go. And I'm turning my shave ice and sprinkling all of that beautiful glitter. It's going to stick wherever I have any glue. So I'm just turning it and turning it, turning it and turning it. And you aren't going to use all of the glitter, or you can't. And then I'm just going to tap it and shake it. And when this is dry, it's going to look beautiful and shiny. And that's it for our Hardy Clay Lollipop and Shave Ice. Well done. Don't forget to send us your pictures. We'd love to see them.